This month we join the SA Rugby Legends on their tour to Portugal for 4 days of rugby, fun and friendship, flying there courtesy of TAG Airlines.
The flight was great. I mean, short, sweet, good few movies. And now we're here. Now we're in Portugal. Now the fun starts.
Cool.
No, the flight was great. I've got nothing to complain about. When you travel a new airline, you never know what to expect, but I was really impressed.
The Legends last visited Portugal in 2016 at the invitation of businessman Tim Vieira, who is passionate about rugby, the Springboks and growing the game in Portugal. A large group of familiar faces from across the eras of the game in South Africa formed part of the tour group, which would be spending the next few days sharing rugby skills and clinics, playing against the Portuguese Barbarians Legends for the Mandela Legends Cup, and getting to enjoy the popular seaside resort town of Cascais.
Hey guys, how's it? It's mp4 here from the SA Legends. We just arrived in Cascais after a great flight with the TAG airline from back home in South Africa. And yeah, we're looking forward to a great tour. It should be a great tour for the next couple of days. We got a press conference today at 3 o'clock, and then later on we'll join the local club and meet up with the local players, see how the rugby is in Portugal.
Straight off their flight, it was off to a media conference and to meet up with some of the members of the Portuguese Barbarian Legends team, which included the Kiwi legends Frank Bunce and Walter Little and former Scotland captain Kelly Brown.
I'd like to say, when Lorne and myself, we started thinking of bringing legends to Portugal, we didn't expect that we'd be this good and bring so many great legends. And all of a sudden, we started seeing that it's actually something really special. What really is important is the friendship we build. It's the lessons we learn. It's the stories we hear. It's what rugby does for a community.
Tim was keen to invite rugby legends from other countries to create a truly international flavour for the event.
You guys had so much fun, and I think you told everyone about it, and all of a sudden a few people got in contact with us and said, look, if there's a Legends, we're happy to come through as well. And when we get 2 New Zealanders coming through, and we've got 2 Samoans, a Spanish player, and then a Scottish and a British, and English, it's wonderful, I think it's mixing and having Chester seeing Frank Bunce and Walter Little again for the first time since 1995, that's a special thing. Yeah, what I'm really looking forward to is that they can get into the spirit and they can see the spirit of rugby. That rugby starts going from strength to strength in Portugal, because there's a lot of passion in Portugal, there's a lot of talent, I promise you. I spend many weekends watching it and I see it, and more and more, and coaching's improving and so on. So I think there's going to be some special players coming out.
Former Bok prop Lawrence Sepaka was looking forward to facing the team.
Well, I suppose the second time in Portugal, and actually excitement is still there. It's if it's the first time. So the team that was put together is actually pretty exciting. We've got the likes of Walter Little and Frank Bunce. Those are legends that we watch playing, and then we get to interact with them as well, just to show you what this legendary status is about. And obviously the guys that are put together this time, I think we might have even a better game in our hands. And looking forward to it, and hopefully it's going to be as fun as the last game we played last time with them. And actually, I think the hype around this one is so big that the game is actually going to be televised. So they're really taking it seriously, they're really pushing the bar as to what importance these games play when it comes to the Portuguese people and obviously South African Legends' involvement. So we're actually very happy to come apply ourselves and actually do a good job of it. Now listen, we've got some mix of a muscle experience and a bit of youth. So it would be interesting how some of those old bones are actually pushing on. We try to keep fit as much as we can. Tomorrow is going to be one of those days where you actually get to shake and see if everything is still oiled up. It's going to be interesting. Looking forward to it.
For Kiwi legend Frank Bunce, it was an opportunity to reignite the passionate rivalry when playing a South African team.
Our team, it has to be a good team when you're playing. Anytime you're playing South Africans, you know that you're going to need 100%. You're going to really have to commit yourself. And a lot of guys are retired. A lot of guys haven't played for a little while. So you're not obviously at the top of your game, but it's what's inside. I think that counts, and it's what. That's why you come out. And you don't want to embarrass yourself. There's still a little bit of pride. People who come and watch, they deserve, to see you give your best. And both teams will be thinking exactly the same thing. So, we haven't really got together as a team just yet, fully. But that'll come, and everyone will just get into the swing of things, and I'm sure it'll work.
Rugby is a great game. It's a game for everybody, and I think that's the message that we're trying to send across to these young guys that want to pursue something. If they can't make their football side or whatever, then rugby is an alternative. It gets a lot of guys to travel around the world and to meet up with players that they have played, from different countries. So what we're doing here at the moment it's great.
Giving back and sharing skills is an important part of the itinerary on Legends tours like this, making time to meet young players from the local community. 2 visits were planned, the first to an inner city club, Escolinha de Rugby de Galiza, where they received a hero's welcome.
We are Escolinha de Rugby de Galiza, a little school of rugby in Galiza, Estoril, and we was born about 12 years ago with no support, but with the force that we want to play rugby with our children. They came from poor neighborhoods, and we are building our club, okay? And now we have more support than when we were born. We have almost 200 players since 8 till the seniors, okay, who have been playing. We have lots of difficulties, but lots of success. Why? Because our people are different. When people don't have anything, they receive and they give more than the others. I think so. For us, it's the second time that the legends from South Africa come here, and it's a party day. Why? They give us rugby, they give us time to play with our children, they give us the time that our children need. Someone who comes here, who play with them and ask his name. That's the difference. They are very humble men.
The next stop, with the players from Galiza joining in too, was to St Julian's School for a longer, intensive coaching session with all the players, led by coach Ian McIntosh.
We're a large school. We have 3 sections, the primary school, years 3-year-olds up to 18-year-olds, and we managed to get everybody out of class. It doesn't take much to get the kids out of class, of course, they loved it. But then lining them up as a sort of rugby corridor, we printed out some flags, and then when the boys came in, when your guys came in, of course it was high five. So I'm amazed that you blokes can catch any rugby balls anymore, because their hands must be stinging from all those high fives.
Chester told you to pass. But when you pass the ball, you look to where it is going. You look at the hands, and if you look there, the ball will always go there. Am I right, Mr. Bunce?
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay. Very nice.
I learned to agree, disagree with everything he says.
Well, today is it's like the most amazing lightning striking twice, because 3 years ago we were incredibly privileged to have the first Springbok Legends tour to Portugal. And you're back again, so it's it's a fantastic honour for us here at school with our club, our sister club with Galiza. As you know, we've got this very strong relationship with the Jaguars team. Comes out of a union between those 2 clubs, So I think it's a fantastic thing that the Springboks, Springbok Legends are here with us today. Train our boys, all of whom are all very excited. So it's a fantastic day for our school, for our club, and for this partnership that we have with Galiza.
We've got the game tomorrow against the Portuguese Barbarians for the Nelson Mandela Challenge, and he showed what sport is capable of in our country, and I think we're seeing it again today here in Portugal. Walking down here, being greeted by all the kids, excitement, the joy, the laughter, and coming onto the pitch and again seeing the excitement in just being able to learn and from our point of view teaching the kids some of the values of sport and also some skills. So it really has been brilliant. And rugby's still a growing game. It takes you all over the world, and the fact that we can come to Portugal and grow the game, I think it's absolutely fantastic. The easiest way for a non-rugby playing nation to grow the game is through sevens, and I think we've seen that globally. And the sevens team in Portugal did really well. And I think if we can assist with that in any kind of way, then that'll be brilliant, because that is a responsibility from our point of view as South Africans as well, as we are very privileged with the rugby infrastructure that we have in South Africa. So grassroots rugby here, and it's about mass participation and I think teaching those values of rugby, which is really important. So yeah, the game is growing here, which is brilliant, and I think there's a lot of people that's passionate about rugby, and that's certainly a good start.
Chester was enjoying reconnecting with his New Zealand rivals from 1995.
Well, it's just great to see the two of them, Frank Bruns and Walter Little. I mean, last time I saw them was about 20 years ago, if not more, and that was in the final. It was just a great fun to speak to them. Well, it's very important that we do stage a very good performance tomorrow. Yes, we all got to a stage where it's a certain age now, but the competition will still be there. But it's important that people can see on TV that rugby is a sport that their kids can participate in. And the key thing is, is to get the people to understand that rugby is there, that unites each other, that making friends for life, and then that's the most important part.
Tour organizer Tim Vieira also made time for the team to enjoy perfect Portuguese hospitality, hosting a welcome cocktail party in his special venue, Tim's Garage, a venue that the petrol heads of the SA Rugby Legends were certainly enjoying.
Yeah, Tim's Garage, it's actually his office. He works from there, but they use it as a venue to hire out for functions, and got beautiful old cars that's in pristine condition. It's a phenomenal place. Really, and the people's come out and supported us, which is really good to see.
I think that's the ultimate man cave, to go there, look at all the cars. I think that's the ultimate guy garage, and I must just thank Tim for the opportunity we got to go see the cars and have a great night out with all the guys.
There was also time to enjoy the summery weather and the sights of Kashkash, with a visit to its renowned town square, bustling with activity, welcome refreshments and tasty local cuisine at Duke's restaurant.
Come on.
Then it was game day, a short bus ride to prepare them for their match and also support the local junior teams who were playing before them. Etienne Reinicker was also checking out the conditions ahead of the game.
It's a bit of a windy day. It's typical any coastal town next to the Atlantic. You've got 4 seasons in a day. Could rain easily a little bit later. Sun is out tonight, but there's quite a hectic breeze, especially if you have to throw a ball into the line out.
And a chance to size up the opposition.
They've got a couple of good players, guys that recently retired. Alex Hogg, a Scottish player, just retired. Kelly, which is 1 year into coaching, retired Scottish player. We've got a couple of recently retired oaks which can make it tough, and always, local guys play for a bit of pride. Perhaps not the best skill, but it'll be very physical.
Joining the SA Rugby Legends team for the first time was former Pumas and Italy lock Quinton Geldenhuys.
No, like all the Latino teams are very passionate people. Well, I think the only thing they lack at the moment is maybe skills, because the problem is that I think they only start play rugby when at a young older age. It's not like South Africa, you grow up with rugby ball in your hand. So they need the skills, and I think when guys like the legends come over, the youngsters can see what you can achieve and what it's all about, and they can start maybe playing rugby at a younger age and just get a skill level up at a young age.
The legends were impressed with the junior rugby matches they watched.
I mean, they're a very passionate nation, as you know, with their soccer. But there are a lot of international schools and a lot of South Africans in this area as well. And the Portuguese, I mean, they really enjoy it. I mean, they've played some great sevens. They're trying to get in the World Cup. They're playing against Germany, I think, in 2 weeks' time. So I think it's just great for Europe all round and for the Portuguese nation.
Back in the locker room, it was time to prepare for their game, with special guest Cell C CEO Jose dos Santos handing out the match jerseys.
Really wonderful having Jose dos Santos, the CEO of Cell C, here with us today. He's been a massive supporter of rugby in South Africa. You know, he's sponsored the South African Sevens, he's sponsored the Sharks, he sponsors the South African Rugby Legends, and he just made a big difference to our country with all his wonderful support. And he handed over the jerseys earlier to the team, and it was a wonderful uplifting message to them of how much he appreciates what they have done for our country. You know, this game of rugby, it's an hour of hard rugby, most about friendship, having fun, and just the camaraderie and spirit that makes rugby what it is.
Well, it's an amazing experience. You know, as I said earlier when I was in the locker room, this is the first time I've been in the locker room and had experience, and to shake hands with people that have all been legends in their own right is just an amazing. You know, these are players that have supported South Africa, played for South Africa. A lot of them have been injured over the years, and yet they're here today to, you know, have a great match of rugby in the name of the legends, and also in terms of the development that they do for the youngsters. So for me, it was a real honor having that moment and shake hands with some of the world's best players, and all of them being South African, and then coming back to a country like Portugal to have some fun and being part of this camaraderie is just unbelievable.
It's a professional, I guess, courtesy that we here, and the one thing that you learn is that you always have to show up, no matter what you do, and whatever you do off the field, you must show it on the field. So I guess everyone has got that thing within them. There's an innate drive within people, and it's something that you're proud of every time you get onto the field. And we're still lucky that we can still do that.
Yeah, now today's the big day. Everything we've been preparing, everything that everyone's been looking forward, and all the environment around the kids tournament, the people waiting for the game. I think there's really big expectations on what will be happening today, about ourselves as a player, to see how it goes, how we can perform. If it goes the same way it did 2 years ago, if we'll go up the level, and we're really looking forward for it.
A large supportive crowd was in attendance, soaking up the rugby on offer, eagerly awaiting the main match and giving both the teams a rousing welcome, as captains Mac Messina and Luis Pissarra led their respective teams out to line up for the pre-match formalities, which included a minute's silence for the late Springbok prop Loet Muller, who had passed away the week before. The SA Rugby Legends also wearing black armbands and dedicating this match to him. Bolstered by the experience of the international legends in their team, the Portuguese legends got off to a flying start in the first half, managing to keep most of the action in the visitors' half and applying enough pressure to score 2 tries. The SA Legends worked hard to try and break through the solid defence lines, but by half-time, the hosts were up by 12. Debutant SA Rugby legend Jaco van der Westhuizen kick-started the second half, and the determined side came firing back, keen to make up the deficit. Kobani Bobo with his great charge down, chasing the ball to collect it and then dot over the chalk to open the account and taking the score to 12-7. The South Africans worked hard to keep the Portuguese team from scoring. The rolling subs helped to provide fresh legs as the game progressed. Bobo managed to score another try, much to the delight of the South African supporters in the crowd. The Legends taking a leisurely stroll back to the restarts and the supply of water from the support team of non-playing Legends. The attack continued, scrum off Henty Martins marshalling the action and keeping the ball in play to send Darren Nell barging over for try number 3, which would take the South Africans into the lead for the first time, 17-12. The Portuguese side came fighting back, but the disallowed try and the penalty to the Legends had the Legends on the side breathing a huge sigh of relief. Some great forward driving play from the likes of Lawrence Sapaka and Etienne Reyneke keeping the ball in the host's half and creating excellent opportunities for Jaco van der Westhuizen to score twice and take the Legends to a 29-12 victory. The Legends delighted with their win. A hard-fought but entertaining display of Legends rugby from both teams, and the supporters and players thoroughly enjoyed it.
Hi, I'm Candace Jade Parks, and we are from South Africa. And all I can say is, hier kommt die Boka! Hier kommt die Boka! Nein, 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 nein. But we had such a great day today. It was so lovely.
The Boks coming back again was a very good thing to see. Eh? We arrived here hoping for a massive win. In the end, we got it. So it was very good. The first half was a bit tricky for us, but the second half, yeah, we got it back.
For me, I think personally, I played men at Oz. I had the pleasure of playing against the Springboks or Samoa 4 or 5 times throughout my career, never won. So I thought at halftime now, I thought, flip, this could be my first ever win against the South African side, but it wasn't meant to be. But it was great to see some old faces out there, and it was tough. We was played in really good spirit, and really looking forward to the festivities now.
If it's one-sided, it doesn't become nice for the spectators. So for us to be on the edge, it means we had to go deeper as well and make sure, put on the big guns, because it's not these guys were coming. And you can see some of them are still like fresh out of professional league, so you had to really bring it. And when we started bringing it and coming down and focusing, it was actually not that difficult, and guys was just stepping it up.
Legends gives us another game in rugby, to give another game to another guy in rugby. And that's what we're about. So when these guys come and help us to give back to the game, it's just wonderful. We must never lose sight of the fellowship in rugby. And whatever the result was today, these guys will be friends for years to come. And we've just had an unbelievable hospitality here, as it was 2 years ago. And it's just really great to be back.
Yeah, it's a wonderful experience. It's my first time actually with the Legends since I've retired, and what a place to be. I mean, we came to Portugal, and just the experience. And I think that the main thing is just the camaraderie between the boys. Having been playing against the boys for so long, and just meeting up with old faces and just picking up where we left off quite those years ago.
To round off the tour, a post-match dinner and a chance to share stories, support the auction and have some fun.
Not only did we have a great game today, we not so much about the win, not so much about the result, but bringing together rugby nations, Portugal, South Africa, some English players, some Scottish players playing for the Portuguese Barbarians, and what a great game of rugby, and what a great get-together of friendship and old rivalries rebonded and on the field again today. To see the crowd out here, the boys had a fantastic time.
Many thanks to Tim Vieira and his team, all the sponsors, the players, and the supporters for another successful tour to Portugal.
Great tour, it was great having the Legends here. It was such a win for us. We showed the public here in Portugal these great champions. They all spoke about their stories, they all sat, it was all the selfies, it was all the autographs. We had great public support, our sponsors were awesome, but most of all, you guys, you Legends. Now, I truly understand the word Legends because the friendships that are built, the stories that are told, that's what it's all about. The game, not important, but yes, we won, so it was good. And guys, you know, we're looking forward to the next one. And it can only get bigger and better. Thanks guys, enjoy, and see you soon, back in Portugal, Cascais.
For more information about the legends at this event and where you can see us and meet us throughout the year, check out SA+RUGBY+LEGENDS.com, as well as our social media sites on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, as well as right here on Supersport. Thanks for watching.